Welcome to the future. The 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. An all-electric pickup truck with all the technology of an F-150, plus an electrified driving experience and tech only available on an all-electric truck. Backed by trusted built Ford tough capability. In fact, the F-150 Lightning is the smartest, most connected F-150 Ford has ever built. For 44 straight years, more Americans have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series pickup than on any other truck. And now, it's charging into the future. The Ford F-150 Lightning. All electric, all F-150.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back and it is 2022. So first off, Happy New Year. This is our first stream for the Lightning. That's right. I am in the studio with the 2022 F-150 Lightning. And what that means is that there's some of you out there that are going to have this dynamic vehicle in your driveway or your garage in this calendar year. So I'm super excited. We're also super excited to be here and back with Discover Your Ford. This is our live stream broadcast. I am Errol, and I am excited to be in the studio with you to talk to you more about this iconic vehicle. Now, as many of you may have heard, the F1 Series, F-150 Series truck has been the best-selling truck in America for now 45 years. And the F-150 Lightning is going to continue to charge into the future. And so we're super excited to talk to you about it today. Now, as I mentioned, this is our live stream broadcast. And so today, we're going to be utilizing and answering some of the questions that you guys have. And I also want to encourage you to ask as many questions as possible in our chat platform. Now, I'm going to be depending upon my chat team, and I'm also going to be answering some questions here live during our broadcast. And so I encourage you to get your questions in because we want to get as many of those answered as possible. And also, we utilize those questions to help us in coming up with topics that we're going to discuss for future live streams. So make sure your feedback is not only appreciated, but highly encouraged. So make sure you get that in. Now, as I mentioned and I communicated back in December, the ordering banks for this particular truck are going to be opening up. And so what that means is for a lot of you early reservation holders, you will have the opportunity to go ahead and place your official order. So that's going to be a very exciting time. So make sure you look out for more correspondence for that. As I also mentioned, with this being our live broadcast, we're not going to be able to cover every feature, function, or every utility that we want to display. So for that, we're going to be utilizing some technology. I've got some technology here with me in studio, but I also took the liberty and had the opportunity to have Jason Turnbull, who is the marketing manager for the F-150. He came into the studio a little bit earlier and was able to record some good video for us that I'm going to be cutting to and showing you guys a little bit later on. I've also got some other great videos that I'm going to be showing you throughout our broadcast, which is really going to highlight what sets the F-150 Lightning apart. Now, as you know, with our live streams, we're going to be focusing on one particular topic, and questions regarding that topic are going to get priority. So what I encourage you is, as we're going through, not only take notes, but make sure that you get your questions in so that way we can give you the feedback and answers that you're looking for. I told you already that the F-Series truck and the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America for the last 45 years. And really, this is a truck known for its ability to get some serious work done. Now, that's all going to be elevated with the advantages that you have with electrification. It's going to be packed with connected technology and, of course, the incredible capability that you've come to know and love with the F-150 truck. So today, we're going to be talking all about productivity. Now here in the studio, you guys can see it. I actually have the Platinum Series and the Platinum trim level F-150 Lightning here with me, and it is in antimatter blue color. And we're going to talk a little bit more about colors, but let's first talk about what we're going to talk about in productivity. So first off, we're going to kick it off with talking about the Mega Power Frunk. From there, we're going to talk about Pro Power Onboard. We're going to discuss payload ratings, onboard scales, the interior work surface, tailgate work surface, power and towing, and then we're going to wrap it up by showing you how it is built for tough, and it's gone through the built for tough testing. So that's all what's going to be coming up on today's broadcast. Now, remember, we are in the middle of our live stream series, and so I want you guys to make sure that you mark your calendars and also check for what other live streams that we have upcoming. Because as I mentioned before, we're here for the year of 2022, so we're going to have great content for you throughout this year. To give you an idea of the next couple of months, in February, we're going to be talking about technology. And in March, we're going to be talking about charging. So make sure you mark your calendars. You can find our schedule on Discover Your Ford, so that way you can be prepared for upcoming broadcasts. Now, I talked about how beautiful this truck is that we have here in the studio, and this antimatter blue. And you guys have a lot of questions about colors. So let's go to some technology and check out some of the available colors that we have on the F-150 Lightning. All right, guys. So as I mentioned, right now in the studio, we have the antimatter blue here with us. Now, a couple of the other colors that you've seen, if you've been tuned into our broadcast, is of course the Atlas blue, and we also have had the iced blue silver. You can also see some of the available colors here, which include agate black, iconic silver, Oxford white, stone gray, carbonized gray, and then here at the bottom you have your three premium colors, which include rapid red, smoked quartz, and star white. So you have a multitude of options that you can choose to really make your Lightning your own, and to make sure it stands out even more than it already does. So again, that's a great thing about colors, is that you get to choose, including some premium colors that are available for you as well. Now, when it comes to being able to set this truck apart and really being able to get the job done, well, that's what you're going to find. And one of the things that I even did, as I mentioned, is that I have a special guest that's going to help me along the way in talking about that. And Jason, when he came into the studio and recorded the video earlier for us, he's going to talk about some of the decisions that went in and that were made along the way in the development of this truck. Because we know that F-150 owners don't just want their truck to look nice and to look pretty, but we want it to be able to get the job done. And many of you rely on your truck not only at home, but for your profession as well. So let's talk about that, because after this series of the F-150 and the decades that it's been really known to get and live up to those tasks. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to see in the trim levels. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the work history that's going to be apparent in each trim level. Now, when you start off, you're going to start off with the Pro Trim Series. And just as the name implies, it's built around getting the job done. Some of the key things that I want to point out here that you're going to see is the durable materials that you have right up front here in the bumper. You also are going to have some other key features in the grille and even in the interior, which all includes durable materials built around aiding you in getting the job done, and keeping in mind that this truck is not just a stripped down work truck. No, you're going to still have some of the cutting edge technology that only the electrified platform is going to be able to deliver, such as the Mega Power Frunk, and then also the utilization of the Pro Power onboard system that you're going to find throughout the vehicle as well. You also have some cool available features such as the tailgate work surface and some other things that I'm going to be talking about later during our live stream. Now, one of the big stories that's really exciting is this right here, and that is maintenance cost. When it comes to owning an electrified vehicle, one of the things that you can be excited about is the anticipation of lowered maintenance costs. And how that's accomplished is that we estimate it to be more than a 40% less, or so 40% less than the average scheduled maintenance costs for a gas-powered F-150. Now that's based over, as you can see here, 8 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. So it really gives you a great opportunity to utilize your vehicle and have the peace of mind of knowing that with the electrified platform, you're also going to be able to generate that maintenance savings, especially if you're looking at taking this vehicle and making it into a fleet vehicle. And it's going to be great for a fleet vehicle because it does give you the availability and option to really brand your company, your business, and really be able to promote it. And now you can know that, hey, I'm going to save a little bit of money potentially there along the way as well. Now, some other things that I mentioned that are going to be great is, of course, the Pro Power onboard system. Now, with the Pro Power onboard system, you're going to get not only the Mega Power front, but it's going to come standard with the 2.4 kilowatt Pro Power onboard, and you're going to have that added in the back with a Class 4 hitch receiver. So those are going to be some of the standard features, but when you start to get up in the trim level and talk about some of the available options that you'll see, you're going to have the availability to increase that Pro Power onboard system as much to go all the way up to 9.6 kilowatts. You also have the availability to add certain features like onboard scales and even a tailgate step, all of which I'm going to show you and talk about a little bit more in the future. So there's a lot of smart features that go into the F-150 Lightning. And as one of those key features, that's the Mega Power front. Now, when you talk about the Mega Power front and what you're going to get in the Mega Power front, well, you actually are going to have the availability to get 400 liters of storage and 400 pounds of payload. All right? Overall, what this is going to kick off into is that the F-150 Lightning is going to deliver a vehicle that's going to live up to your expectations that you've had, especially if you're an F-150 owner currently, but it's really going to give you some cutting edge technology that you're only going to find in the electrified platform. But listen, don't just take it from me. Like I told you, I was able to get Jason Turnbull in the studio earlier, so check out this video from Jason where he talks specifically about some of the unique features of the F-150 Lightning. Check this out.
Hello, Discover Your Ford. I'm Jason Turnbull, Marketing Manager for the all-new, all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning. Sorry I couldn't be there live today, but I'm excited to take your questions. All through development of the F-150 Lightning, we made sure that it was just as capable on the work site as it will be in your driveway. It needed to be the and solution. It needed to be just as capable and just as durable as our F-150 gas. On the interior, our cabin measurements are the same as F-150 gas as they are in F-150 Lightning. This was a strategic choice, so our customers can have a plug-and-play approach when they transition from their current F-150 to the all-new F-150 Lightning. For example, Ryan, we're utilizing the same components as our gas counterpart, but obviously we don't have a transmission, so we're utilizing that space for additional cooling hardware for the battery. For the exterior, our goal is to make it tough and rugged and familiar, but at the same time advanced and modern. So we utilize signature lighting on the front and rear, as well as key cues to make sure our Lightning stands out in the crowd.
Jason couldn't have said it better. I mean, that's exactly it. It's about those keys that make the Lightning unique and stand out. And one of the keys that I mentioned before his video, and I want to spend some more time on it, is exactly one of those unique features to the F-150 Lightning, and that's the Mega Power front. So before we cut to the video, I told you guys it includes 400 liters of storage, and that's the equivalent of 14.1 cubic feet of cargo space. It also comes with a 400-pound maximum payload that you're going to be able to get there. Now, when you open up the Mega Power front, you're going to have some really unique features that are included. So, as an example, you have some grocery hooks and also some other tie downs that you see there. You know what? What am I doing, Larry? We've got the vehicle right here in the studio. So, you know what, guys? Let's go take a look at this stuff in person. Why look at it on the screen when you can see it in 3D? All right, guys. So, check this out. With the Mega Power front, what's really great about it is that you have the ability to access it a few different ways. So one of the things that you can do, once you make sure that your vehicle is unlocked, you can access it, of course, from inside the cabin, but of course you can access it from your key fob. And in order for you to do that, you press the key fob twice, it'll go ahead and release, open up for you, And boom, there you have it. How great is that? Now, one of the key things that I love and that, of course, makes the Mega Power Frunk really stand out is the bumper height, right? So one of the things that you'll notice is that you don't have to worry about it. We call it a waterfall design. So you don't have to worry about lifting things up and over, because now you can see here, it's really easy for you to be able to get things in and out of the front. As a matter of fact, I can just show you. Hold on. I've got my toolbox here. All right. So let me show you guys here. All right. So one of the things here that you see is, go ahead. You can kind of take this and then boom, you can put your toolbox right inside there. So it makes it really easy to go ahead and utilize the easy access of the Mega Power Frunk. All right. Now let me go ahead and get this toolbox back out here. And let me put this back down over here. All right, so one of the things that I started to show you guys on the screen I was talking about is, of course, some of the things that and features that you're going to find here in the Mega Power Frunk. So that includes the grocery hooks that you have here, of course, the tie downs that are available. You also have the adjustable floor, which is here as well. And look at that, I've even got a cargo net that's included that I can utilize as well, which is great. But you know what, guys, I was in the studio and I had a chance to shoot some cool videos, and I want to show you some of the different ways that you can actually utilize your Mega Power Frunk. So check out a couple of these clips here and tips so I can show you guys how you can really utilize it. So there you can see that's empty. I loaded up some golf bags, and it can fit 2 full-size golf bags. You've got concrete mix that you can put there. You also have your luggage. And then from there, you can also do groceries, which I just showed you guys, the grocery hooks that are available, and of course your tools and other things that you can utilize. Now, one of the things that's great about the Mega Power Frunk, even as you've seen from the video there, is that you can put things now in your frunk that maybe you don't want to store in the normally traditionally would not want to put in the bed of your vehicle. The other thing that's nice, if you, of course, are a pickup owner, you maybe have utilized certain things in the past, like a lockable toolbox or things of that nature, and now you can store some of those items here inside the frunk and have them safe and secure. And when it comes to fun, and Larry, we tried to coin this in 2021. I'm going to bring it back in 2022. You can even do things like frunk gating. That's right. You know about tailgating. Well, frunk gating is going to be taken over for 2022. As you guys seen in the video, you have the opportunity where you have the cooler system here, so you can kind of put some ice down in here if you wanted to, and it comes with a drain plug. So that way, when you're done with your beverages, the ice will all automatically drain underneath the vehicle, so you don't have to worry about it. You can also utilize some of the power that is underneath and available in the front, and that comes through the Pro Power onboard system. And so you guys seen over here where you can utilize some of the power when we had the cooler plugged in, but I really want to get more into depth in that. So we're going to go back to our board and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can get power out of your F-150 Lightning. Let me go ahead and close up the front here and press the press of a button. It's that simple. So like I said, not only are there multiple ways that, as you guys know, you can get power into your truck and utilize the power of your truck, but I want to talk to you guys about how you can make those work for you. And one of the ways is, of course, the Pro Power onboard system, which starts right up front in the Mega Power Frunk. Now, one of the things that you're going to see in the Mega Power Frunk, you're going to have 4 120 volt outlets that produces 2.4 kilowatts of maximum power. You also will have 1 USB-C outlet and 1 USB-A outlet. So really, when you're talking about the Mega Power Frunk and some of the ways that it ties in the Pro Power onboard system, you're going to be able to utilize it to do certain things like plug in your cooler, or let's say if you have your tablet or a laptop or even your cellular phone that you want to plug in, you can do all of that right from the Mega Power Frunk. Now, one of the things that you'll also notice with the Pro Power onboard system, as I mentioned earlier, is that you do have the ability to upgrade and go to the larger Pro Power onboard system output. Now, the thing that we talked about is the 2.4 kilowatt output here, and that's going to give you 8 outlets, and that's equal to 8 outlets of 120 volt, and that's standard on the Pro and the XLT trim level. Now, I want to see if you guys are paying attention. So far, I've showed you where 4 of those outlets were. Now, if you know, so there's 4 there, and as you can see here, there's going to be 2. Now, this display is showing you the bed of your truck. So there's going to be 2 here in the bed of your truck. That gives you a total of 6. If you can tell me where those other 2 outlets are located, I want you to put it in the chat right now. I want you guys to chime in. So tell me, to get to that 8, where those other 2 outlets are. Now, if you want to do additional power and have more availability with the Pro Power onboard system, well, then you can definitely do that and go ahead and get the 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power onboard system. Now, with that, you're going to have 11 total outlets, all right? And we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about how those outlets break down. But you basically get 10 120-volt outlets and 1 240-volt outlet. And that's going to be standard on the Platinum, the Lariat, and it is optional on the Pro and the XLT models. So if you're thinking about doing the Pro or the XLT, this is an optional feature, but like I mentioned, it does come standard on the Platinum, which is what we have here in the studio, and on the Lariat trim level. And again, when you're looking in the bed of your truck, what you're going to see here are your 4 120-volt outlets, and then of course your 1 240-volt outlet. And again, I showed you guys where 4 and 4, that's 8. Where are those other outlets? Again, put it in the chat. I want to hear from you guys. If you know where it's at, tell me where those other 2 outlets are located, and I want you guys to put that in the chat for me, okay? So one of the things that is really nice about utilizing the Pro Power onboard, you may have seen some of the commercials where it does give you the availability to really get the job done. Whether you're on the work site or the campsite, you're going to have the availability to utilize your F-150 Lightning to get power out of the truck, and we make it really easy for you to get power into the truck, which we're going to be talking about in some of our later live streams as well. All right, so one of the other things that I want to go to and talk about with you guys is just that. Let's talk about what we see in our tailgate and in the bed of our truck. So Larry, let's go ahead over to the back and let's show them a little bit more of some of our features that we have available in the bed of our truck. Now, one of the things, guys, that you are going to see when you come to your tailgate is some of the available tools that you have when it comes to the Pro Power onboard. Now, as you can see, I've kind of set the workspace up here for you guys to give you an idea of how the Pro Power onboard system is going to work. And I want to show you guys how that looks in real time. So, Larry, let's switch spots here because I want to point out those outlets that I mentioned and show them on our display board. All right, so here you guys go. I actually plugged in my battery charger here, so that's really easy. I have that plugged into one of my 120-volt outlets. So again, with the 120-volt, guys, you can do things like a hammer drill. I mean, you can even do, if you need to get some work done, a laser printer, a microwave, blender. You really got some options there. And then, of course, as I mentioned, you do have the 240-volt outlet. So again, that gives you the opportunity to run some of those larger items. You can run things like a welder, a space heater, some other cool things. In fact, when we were at a press event in New Jersey, our team, along with some journalists, we were able to really hook up some cool things. We had everything from a television to a cement mixer to really just a few other things like a power saw, just to really kind of demonstrate the ability of the Pro Power onboard system. Now, I asked you guys this, and if you know where those other 2 additional outlets were, well, if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you. They're inside of the cab. That's right. So you have 2 120-volt outlets that are also inside the cab of the F-150 Lightning. So again, let's go through the breakdown. So if you have the available 9.6 kilowatt Pro Power onboard, that's going to give you 11 power outlets. So to give you the full breakdown, you have 4 120-volt outlets in the Mega Power front. You have 2 120-volt outlets that are inside the cab. You have 4 outlets here in the bed. And then, of course, you have that additional 1 240-volt outlet as well. All right? So one of the things that, makes that unique is now, let's say I do have all that equipment, I have everything loaded up. Well, that's going to impact my payload, right? And I want to show you guys some specific when it comes to payload ratings. So let's head back over to our board and take a look at our payload ratings. Now, one of the great things when it comes to payload is being able to really utilize your F-150 Lightning and maximizing the capabilities that are involved. Now, as you guys can see here, your payload rating is targeting a maximum payload rating of 2,000 pounds. How big is that? That's awesome, right? So you're going to be able to manage that payload rating and utilize it, as I mentioned, because if you guys remember, you have a 400-pound payload rating in the Mega Power Frunk. So that 2,000-pound payload rating can be dispersed throughout the F-150 Lightning. And again, you can get 400 pounds of that right from the Mega Power Frunk. Now, one of the things that I wanted to point out, just so you guys are aware, is that if you have the Platinum trim level, the payload rating on the Platinum trim level is at 1,800 pounds maximum payload rating. And that's just because some of the additional equipment that the Platinum trim level carries, all right? So, and that's also with the extended range battery. So with the extended range battery, if you do either the ordering banks coming up, which you are going to go with, all right? So the nice thing about that is now you're thinking about, okay, I have this payload, I have things loaded up, what can I do with it? Well, in the bed of your truck, you're going to have the 5.5-foot box. So that's going to give you 52.8 cubic feet of storage that you're going to have in the bed. You have the payload of the Mega Power Frunk, and if you remember, that's 400 liters or 14 cubic feet, just over 14 cubic feet of storage in the Mega Power Frunk. And well, all of that is a lot of numbers for us to try to remember, especially when it comes to organizing your payload, right? When you take into account your passengers and other things, well, we thought about that, guys. And how we've accomplished that is through the available option of onboard scales. So I want to show you guys some of the onboard scale system and how that works. So let's talk a little bit and take a look at the onboard scales and how the onboard scale system is going to work. So as an example, and come on over with me this way, Larry. When you're talking about the onboard scale system, what it's going to do is now I have my power tools loaded up, maybe I have my passengers loaded up, and I have the Mega Power Frunk loaded up. Well, the nice thing about it, my available onboard scales will allow me to have a real-time estimate of what my payload rating is. And how it does that is it utilizes either your Ford Pass app or the display screen inside of your vehicle to give you an estimate of the weight of the things that you have in your F-150 Lightning. So what that does is that gives you the comfort and security of knowing that you're managing your payload in a responsible way. So with the onboard scales, as I mentioned, it's an available feature, and it couples very good with our other available feature, which is the Intelligent Range Access System. Now, these two systems paired together allow you to not only have a real-time estimate of your payload, but also to have other insight regarding your vehicle. And so what you're going to have with the intelligent range input is the intelligent range is going to measure certain things like your speed, the temperature, elevation, what you're towing as far as your towing, and as I mentioned, if it's equipped, the onboard scales. It does all of that among other things, and what that does is it provides you a real-time and predictive estimate of your current range based on your usage. So the benefit that you're going to have with the F-150 Lightning is that now you have the most in-tune and up-to-date information about your range. And so you're also going to know where your closest charge station is, because one of the other things that you have with certain features like Power My Trip is that you'll have the availability to go in, pre-program a trip, and it will tell you all of the charging stations along your route. So again, when I talk about this vehicle not only being all F-150, but being uniquely F-150 Lightning, these are just some of the key features that really help and go into that. And what it does is it always gives you as much information as possible and as real-time information as possible, all to help aid in your security, your comfort, and your knowledge when it comes to being behind the wheel. All right. Looks like we've got a question coming in, guys. So let's go ahead and get that question answered. Thank you guys for the question. So let's take a look. This question comes from Rick. So Rick, thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year to you. Glad that you are here. And Rick's question is this. Rick says, we have a reservation for our F-150 Lightning and are super excited to do the order. I'm super excited for you, Rick. Our question is this. What is the range of the extended range battery when towing a horse trailer with a weight of 6,500 pounds? Rick, that's a great question, and I'm actually glad you asked that. Now, I'm going to be specifically talking a little bit more about power and towing in this broadcast, but let me give you an example of your question. There's no real way to know the exact range because even with a gas-powered engine, we really wouldn't know the exact range because it all depends on a few varying factors, such as your elevation, your speed. Are you a lead foot, Rick, or are you more conservative? So there's a few varying factors that go into it. So even whether we're talking about the electric F-150 Lightning or a gas-powered vehicle, there's not an exact measurement of how many miles that you can get based on what you're towing. What we're used to with our gas engines is being able to say, well, hey, I can get from here to here and I'll have a quarter of a tank left. And that's where that intelligent range access system comes in on the F-150 Lightning. Because Rick, what you're going to experience with your F-150 Lightning is a few things. The intelligent range system will take into account and calculate what you're towing. And then based on your driver input, so again, based on your speed, based on your braking, based on some of the factors of how you drive your F-150 Lightning, it then will give you the real-time estimate of your miles while you're driving, which you'll be able to see inside of your vehicle on your display screen. So all you'll have to do if you want to know your current mileage is just kind of look down and a little to your left and you'll be in the loop. All right, so that gives you a good idea. Again, to answer your question, Rick, there's no exact calculation, but with the intelligent range access system and the intelligence of the F-150 Lightning, you're going to have a real-time, up-to-date predictive measurement of your range, and it'll also lead you to the next charging station. So while you're out there with the horse trailer, you'll be able to go across country without a problem. So let's talk about, while we're talking about trailer and towing, let's take a look at another cool feature that you're going to find, which is back here in the back, and that is our tailgate work surface. Now, one of the features that I love, especially because we're always focused on being able to get the job done. And one of the things with the F-150 Lightning is whether you're going from job site to campsite, it's going to help you get that done. And one of the ways we do that is with the new tailgate work surface. Now, the tailgate work surface is great because as you guys can see here, it really allows you, it has a spot here where you can put your tape measure or pins. You can even, there's a spot here where you can even prop up and have your, as you see, your cell phone, or if you have a tablet, of course, you can turn it sideways and utilize it for tablet usage. So it really gives you access to be able to utilize that. Another cool benefit, which I love, is the measurement tool that you have here. So, I mean, as you guys can see here, I have my tape measure here, but one of the nice things with my measurement tools, I have not only the imperial but the metric system as well. And really what that tells me is I can take this my measuring tool tape here and just put it right in my bag. I don't need it, right? And what it does is it allows me the freedom and the flexibility to be able to measure things out and get things done. As an example, one of the other cool features that you'll see here is the available clamp strap. So right here, you can actually add in and do some C-clamps. So that way, if you're on the job site or the campsite and maybe you need to cut some wood, you'll be able to easily measure that out using your tailgate work surface, and then also have the cool features to be able to utilize that. So again, just another great innovative tool. Another big story, of course, I mentioned it earlier, and that is the tailgate step. The tailgate step is really great. It works really simple. You push the button here. From there, you're able to let that down. And once you let that down, you have an assist handle that pulls out. And with that assist handle, it allows you to easily access into the bed of your truck. All right, so it works really great. And when you're ready and you're done, it's really simple. You just follow the buttons. There's one, there's two. Put that arm back in there, and then I can go ahead and put my tailgate step right back into the bed of my truck. So again, guys, another great feature is that tailgate work surface. Now, with the tailgate work surface, I know what you're thinking. Well, and that is, what if I'm working and my day project turns into a night project? Well, we've got you covered on that too. And one of the ways we do that is with the available zone lighting. So Larry, I'll switch with you here so they can kind of see and get an idea. The zone lighting, you can actually utilize it a few different ways. So one of the ways right here inside of the bed of the truck, as you guys can see here, there's a button that you can utilize there. Inside of your vehicle, it's going to give you a zone lighting feature and option. So what you'll see, and as you can see, Larry, you got some of the zone lights all around the vehicle. You can actually do the zone lighting a few different ways. You can actually light a specific zone itself, or you can utilize them all at once. Okay, so when you have the available enhanced zone lighting feature, you can get the work done even in the dark. All right, so zone lighting can be all at once, or it can be turned on independently, and it can be controlled, as I mentioned, through either inside the cabin of the vehicle. You have certain buttons that you can access here, like I did in the bed of the truck, or you can also utilize it through your sync screen and your Ford Pass app. So there's a few different ways that you can utilize that as well. So guys, we talked about some great features and tools that you can get done and you can utilize here in the bed of your truck. I mean, we talked about the tailgate work surface, but the interior is just as eager to allow you to get some work done. And so one of the things, guys, I want to show you is our interior work surface. Because in one of our last broadcasts when we talked about this and getting some serious work done, we actually had Dan, who was from New Hampshire, that told us that he works inside the cab of his vehicle for a majority of his work week. So Larry, let's head up to the front and we're going to show them how the interior is just as eager to get some of that work done as we've seen in the exterior of our vehicle. So guys, when you hop inside here, the interior work surface is really great, and it's really easy for you to be able to access. Actually, it's just the press of a couple buttons. So you press the button here to let the shifter go down. And once that shifter goes down there, then you actually just lift the top here, and that will allow you to go ahead and access the work surface. As a matter of fact, while I was in the studio, I had a chance to kind of play around with this, and I wanted to show you guys, I did a video, and I wanted to show you guys just some of the multiple ways that you can really utilize the interior work surface. So check this video out, guys, really quickly. And so as you can see, as I just did here in the studio, I let my shifter down. From there, I'm able to access the work surface, and then I can utilize it to get work done on my laptop, eat lunch, take notes, or even watch a favorite show on my tablet. And the great thing I love is that when I'm all done and I'm ready to get back to either my work day or maybe I arrive home, then what I can do is I can go ahead and store my laptop securely and safely, and then put my shifter back up, and I am ready to go. So just as you're seeing on the video, it's really simple, guys. I fold it up here, and as I fold it up here, I can then go ahead and press my button, and guess what? I am ready to go. Like I said, either to get back to the workday or to make my way home, whichever the case might be. Now, I know we've talked a lot about work, right? And we've talked about how the truck can get the job done. Well, what if you need a break? Well, guess what? We've got you covered on that too. And one of the cool features that we actually have is the Max Recline Seat. Now, this is an available option and one that I think you're really going to enjoy, because what it does, it gives you the ability to take your front seats and put them in a nearly 180-degree recline position. Now, let me show you guys really quickly how that works. It's really great. So when you have your seat, now one of the things you'll do if you have this feature is, and I want to make sure we catch this, Larry, check this out. So one of the things that you guys will see is that the lower part of your seat here is actually going to raise up to meet the back upper lumbar support. So check this out. When I lower my seat, you'll see that that feature comes up, and it will continue to raise up. And now that is what's going to create that nearly 180-degree reclining surface. Now, I'm not going to say it's better than, but it may just be close to first class seating. I mean, if you guys have ever flown first class, you know what I'm talking about. This is a great feature to have, especially for those times where maybe you need to take a break from the job site or the campsite, or you just want to take a rest while you're moving across the country, right? It's a great benefit, great feature to have. It's an available option, and one that I think will really come in handy. And again, it's one that you can utilize. It's very simple to do, and you even have some upper lumbar support that you can adjust to really be able to maximize your comfort when it comes to the Max Recline seats, all right? Now, one of the things that we talked about, and I mentioned it while we were in the back, and it was one of our questions, is power and towing. towing. So Larry, let's go ahead and back over to our board and let's talk a little bit more in depth about power and towing. Now, as I mentioned, guys, your F-150 Lightning is set up to really get the job done. And let's go ahead and back over to our board and let's talk a little bit more in depth about power and towing. Now, as I mentioned, guys, your F-150 Lightning is set up to really get the job done. And this is where it really comes into its own. This is one of the things that really is going to help the F-150 Lightning stand apart. So you'll notice here, guys, that we have a maximum targeted towing rating of 10,000 pounds. That's right. So when it comes to towing, you're going to have a 10,000 pound towing rating, so you don't have to worry about your towing there. You'll definitely be able to get the job done. And so that's another key feature. One of the things also I want to mention that if you're interested in thinking about taking advantage of the Platinum, your maximum towing rating for your Platinum, that is going to be 8,400 pounds on the Platinum. All right. So just keep that in mind. Now, one of the other cool things that you're going to be able to see is that your targeted power. So with your F-150 Lightning, you're going to have 563 horsepower. Now that's the electric equivalent, and that's with the extended range battery. But here is the big number that you're going to see. With your F-150 Lightning, you're going to be producing 775 pound-feet of torque. Now, that's the most torque that we've ever seen in any F-150 to date. And that actually pushes out and gives you results of 0 to 60 times in the mid 4-second range. And that's, again, when equipped with the extended range battery, and that's based on typical industry methodology. Now, one of the things that you have is that you're delivering all of these impressive numbers with all electric power. And one of the ways that that's accomplished is that you can get that powerful towing dependability based on having the dual inboard motors and, of course, the standard four-wheel drive. So one of the things that you're going to experience with the F-150 Lightning is that you'll have standard four-wheel drive. So like I said, when it comes to towing, hauling, and one of the things that you can see with this impressive number of torque is that now you'll have a smooth transition. So when you do get ready to haul or tow, that instantaneous torque that you're going to experience is going to be well managed through that four-wheel drive system, which is going to give you a smooth liftoff and really elevate your towing experience. Now, we talked about some of the key features here with our towing capability. I did want to point out to you guys so that you know is that you do have the opportunity, and in order to obtain these numbers, you want to make sure that you have the Max Trailer Tow Package installed. Okay, so again, I know the ordering banks are going to be coming up, so if you're really interested in your towing, make sure that you have that Max Trailer Tow Package installed to maximize your trailer and your towing capabilities. All right. Now, also, we're going to cover a little bit more of some of those features in our upcoming live stream. So make sure, as I mentioned at the top of our broadcast, that you set your calendars and be prepared to tune in monthly because, again, we're going to be coming with some of that information and really breaking down and going into some of these numbers. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with the F-150 Lightning is that to help with the towing and also the production of the power and the torque that it produces is the lower center of gravity, right? What that's going to do is that's going to give you more confidence in handling whether you're traveling along a rain-slicked road or through sand, right? Well, no matter what the conditions are, the F-150 Lightning is built for tough, and it's gone through the Built for Tough testing. So let's take a look and show you. I want to show you guys how some of that's accomplished and some of the key elements that go into the Built for Tough testing. So Larry, come on over this way and let's talk about that Built for Tough testing and what that really means. What that means to you guys is that this F-150 Lightning has gone through all of the same rigorous testing that any F-Series truck has gone through. And so that means including things like running the truck through the Iowa hills of California, where it towed massive trailers up for long durations up and down steep inclines. That's also going to include certain features like battery testing. Right? Now, one of the things that's unique to the F-150 Lightning is that, of course, the battery platform is underneath and the battery is secured inside a waterproof casing and surrounded by crash absorption protection. It has been tested in temperatures as extreme as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that does, guys, is that's going to help give you the confidence that you know that your F-150 Lightning is going to perform even in the toughest conditions. That's also led to some serious, robust technology that has been built into this truck. Like I mentioned, not only is this truck all F-150, it's been built for tough, it's gone through the built for tough testing, but with the technology of this vehicle, you're going to see some of the things that you're familiar with, such as the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body and bed and frame that uses stronger materials. It's actually the strongest steel that's ever been put into an F-150 frame, and all that helps to support the advanced battery. It also has updated to the rear independent suspension, which adds to that lower center of gravity that I mentioned, and that helps improve your isolation from the road. It also gives you a position where it provides a more stable ride and reduces your steering roll. Now, with the battery being enclosed in its metal exostructure, it also adds a steel plate underneath as well. So that way, as I mentioned, when we're talking about that four-wheel drive system, if you are thinking about utilizing and doing things, you know you have that added protection as well. You also are going to have some additional protection in the way of two liquid cooling systems. You have one system that actually goes in and cools your dual motors, and then you have another system that actually cools the battery itself. So while all of this works while keeping the durability, the reliability that you expect from the F-150 and the F-Series trucks in general. Now, when it comes to technology and performance, there are some things that are unique and only featured in the F-150 and the 2022 F-150 Lightning specifically. But like I said, don't take my word for it. I've got one last piece from Jason, and I want him to talk a little bit more about some of the unique things that went into the ordering and some of the things that we're seeing. Now, keep in mind, guys, Jason was just in our studio, so this information is hot off the press and really up-to-date information. So take a look at this video from Jason.
A key advantage for us is we have different options at all different price points. For example, our Pro Series, it's the best bang for the buck. Our customers are ordering that in droves. On the higher end, we see the Lariat 511A. This vehicle is loaded with all the technology, from the tow technology package to Ford Blue Cruise to that Sync 4A system. We see this will be a top seller. In terms of colors, we have a wide variety of options. As we continue to monitor the orders coming in, our top three, it starts with number one, our hero color, the Ice Blue Silver. It looks great in any trim. The next two are close with Atlas Blue and Rapid Red. I'm so excited to get the F-150 Lightning into the hands of our customers. As you saw on the live stream, our Mega Power frunk is going to change the game. We worked really hard to utilize that space where a traditional engine would have went for you guys. It's 400 pounds of payload and 400 liters of dry lockable storage. Another key technology is what we call Ford Intelligent Backup Power. You cannot get this in a current gasoline truck. What this means is you can turn your F-150 Lightning into a power source. In an event of a power outage with the proper equipment, you can actually use your truck to power your house. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed answering your questions. I cannot wait to get the F-150 Lightning into your driveway.
Again, Jason hit it right on the head. I can't wait for you guys to have the opportunity to get this vehicle in your driveway, in your garage, and really be able to experience all the excitement that we've been able to experience here while doing these live streams. Now, again, guys, I encourage you, if you have more questions or you want to learn more, make sure you go ahead and mark your calendar, because with the live streams, our main goal is to bring you exclusive content, all to help you get more confident and have more information, so that way when you order and eventually take delivery of your F-150 Lightning, you can actually know and utilize some of the cool features and exclusive features that are only available with this vehicle. Now, listen, it looks like I've got one more question that just came in. I felt my tablet vibrate, so it caught me off guard. All right, guys, so let's take a look at our question. This question comes from Joe. Joe, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being with us. Joe's question is this: Can you show the max recline seat with the rear seat folded up and the seat section actually folded flat? So yes, I actually have it where we've got it. So that is, Joe, thank you for being on top of your stuff. So to give you an idea, yes, on the inside here. Now, one of the things that you see that I have here in this particular one that we have in studio is I do have the available locking tool area and storage here underneath the seat. So in order for the max recline to work, you do have to go ahead and lift the seat up. And so you can kind of see here, Joe, on this side I have the max recline seat. And Larry, if you can kind of show them on the other side, that's with the seat up. And so that's kind of in a neutral position, just kind of showing you guys with the seat up there as well. And that gives you a really good look of inside the cabin. And then when you're ready and you're done for having that max recline seat and you're ready to pull it back up, it takes just a second here. You pull the seat back up and it will go ahead and recline or come back to its normal position. And as that happens, then what you will do, and Joe, you got your question in right at the perfect time. So as that happens, then what you can do, and I think I've got it up far enough. Let me just double check and make sure. That should be good. All right. So once that's up, then from there, you can go ahead and let this down. And then now you have it. So as you can see there, Joe, you can either just do one seat and one half up, or you can keep the other side down, or you can do them both together. So Joe, I hope that answers your question. Thanks for asking that question. And make sure you continue to tune in as we go through our live streams in the next upcoming months. So once again, guys, as you and really give you some benefits that come with an electrified platform. Now, Larry, I think like always, we did our job. We did what we were supposed to do. Listen, we brought the thunder. So it's time for you guys to move like lightning and head to Ford.com. And that way, if you guys have any questions or more questions, you can get them there. But also make sure you check out Discover Your Ford. And that way you can mark your calendars, and you can also see other quick tips, videos, one-on-one walkthroughs, all around your ownership experience. So make sure you check that out. And listen, this has been fun, but I've got to run. But don't you guys worry. I'll be back, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.